One's life begins to change when their desires transform into concrete actions. You're listening to the Desire to Be podcast, where your desires for your life and relationships become your mastery. I'm your host, Devora Goldberg, and thank you for joining. This idea of desires, something very innate within us that we all have, that we all express, that we all feel. Maybe not express as much, but we know that we feel. Many times we actually push down these desires. Many times we know that it exists. We know that we want to show up in a certain way. We want to present ourselves in a certain way. But many times we just push down that feeling. We push down that desire, and we don't express it. I want to share a story with you guys that happened to me not too long ago. And I realized through the story that I had a deep desire how to show up, how to respond, and how to lean into something bigger and greater within me. So here's what happened. I received a letter in the mail that I had been summoned to the Beis Din. For those of you who may not know what a Beis Din is, some people call it Beit Din. It is the Jewish court system, a judicial system that we have within Judaism that people typically will turn to when they have some kind of altercation, either with a business dealing or some kind of dispute that may have happened between two parties, and they want to remediate. So they go to this Beis Din, to a rabbi. Actually, typically it's 3 rabbis, and it's remediated, or there's some kind of settlement. So in this particular case, I got a summon letter because someone who happened to be a close relative of mine had found fault in me. Now, instead of discussing it with me directly, they went to the Beis Din, and the Beis Din sent me a letter with an ultimatum, forcing me into specific action, forcing me to show up before these 3 rabbis. I was absolutely in disbelief. Really? Family members do this? Okay, fine. No, I understand. Family members sometimes do this, but my family members, really? Instead of just coming up to me and having a conversation and letting me know their feelings and how they want to resolve it, you're going to cause someone else to force me into something? This was really not a case for the Beis Din. It was really something that we could have easily figured out amongst us. So the rule is, you get a summon letter from the Beis Din, you have to respond to them. I sent my response letter, and I let them know that I don't really see an issue why they have to get involved. I'm really happy to sit down with the other party and have a respectful conversation. Now, what they did was completely ignored my response, and they sent me a second summon. I kind of realized at this point that I was up against a brick wall, and it seemed like the other party was in this forceful mode, and it didn't seem like I was going to get much say. It didn't seem like my wishes, my response was being respected at all, or may even listened to in the least bit. I was scared. I was petrified. I had never been called to the Beis Din before. I had so much anguish that I was holding on inside of me. This was so unfamiliar. This was so scary. And I just didn't understand. I didn't understand the process. I didn't understand why my response was not being respected. And after a few days of just feeling this fear within me, it actually wasn't feeling too cool. I wasn't happy with feeling down, with feeling this weight in my heart, feeling this weight in my stomach. I had the desire to thrive, not to feel trapped. I had a desire to grow and not to feel stuck. I didn't want to feel like a victim. I didn't want to feel like someone else was putting me under a rock and I couldn't move it. I had a desire for more. I wanted to stop feeling sorry for myself. I wanted to turn into expansiveness, something greater within me, which I didn't know what it was at the time. So I turned to God and I said, God, listen, I don't know what you want from me in this case. I don't know how you want me to grow. I don't know how you want me to expand, but please show me how I can get out of this situation without feeling fear, without feeling anger, and without perpetuating this hatred that's being directed towards me, towards others. And then I went to my favorite place of inner peace and quiet in meditation. Because in meditation, you take yourself out of the pain of the here and now, and you enter a space, a quiet space, an open space, an expansive space outside of the body where a more holistic experience is awaiting us. A more holistic experience is available to us, and we're more suggestive in that state to feel other emotions. Do you know someone who's stressed? Or rather, do you know someone who's not stressed? Stress is a normal part of life. The only part which is not normal is when we hold onto stressful emotions like resentment, worry, anger, or frustration within. In my 15-minute guided meditations, I guide my clients to identify a stress that they're holding onto within their bodies and release it, leaving them with calm, inner peace, and ease. As a listener of the Desire to Be podcast, my gift to you is a free 15-minute guided meditation while spots are still available. DM me on Instagram at its.devoragoldberg or on Facebook at Devora Goldberg to claim your free session now. So what happened was I went into meditation and I concentrated on the soul of the person who was perpetuating this hate, who was angry. And I realized that at the soul level of this person, there is no hate. There's only love. And in my soul, I only have love as well to offer. I only have a light to shine. So in this space of meditation, I held space for this person's soul and I held space for my soul. And I created waves of love pouring out of me into them. Just love, just giving them love. And as Tracy Litt says it so eloquently, pour love on it. We have situations where we're not sure how it's going to be resolved. We feel stuck. Pour love on it. Take a jug, fill it up with love. Best place, best source to get this love from is from your soul. And pour love on the situation. Pour love on the other person. And in this case, I poured it from my soul to theirs. And I just kept on going. And I took all reason and logic out of this because reason and logic would say, hey, they hate you, hate them back. But there was no space for that within me, especially in this space. Again, focusing on their soul is only love. Focusing on my soul and the love that I have for them from one soul to another. And I just poured love and expressed that in that moment. And then I let go. I gave that person to God. I said, God, this person is inherently good. And I know that. I don't necessarily see it, but I know that on a soul level, there is only good. So here you go. Work it out. Work your magic. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing that I can see in my physical power to change the situation. But you, God, you have it all worked out. So take care of it. And that, in that moment, helped me feel relief. Was the situation resolved? Not yet. Was the Bastin case dismissed? Not at that moment. But I felt okay. And when I felt the fear seize me again, I went back into that space of meditation, that space of holiness, that space of expansiveness, and that space that I was able to experience the soul, experience the love, and give them, release them off into God. And after a few days, I get a phone call from a relative of mine who tells me that the Bastin case has been dropped. I didn't get a letter, I didn't get an email, I didn't get a phone call, but I heard that this person who had summoned me to Bastin suddenly developed a heart condition, and that freaked out their spouse completely, that they called up the Bastin immediately, dropped the case, and that was over. Now, I want to be clear. I don't know the works of God. I don't know how he works things out in his world. And I don't know what we do down here in this world which has an effect on different scenarios. I also want to be clear. I never ever want to see pain, suffering, and discomfort of another person. I don't want to hear that they are experiencing illness. I don't want that. But in this situation, this is what happened. I hope this person is okay. I hope this person is feeling well. And I hope that this heart condition has passed. But for me, in order to feel the peace within me before anything had been resolved, it was important for me to recognize my desire and to act upon it. Not just to have this desire, God, I want to be great. God, I want to grow. No. To put in the effort on a soul level, because many times within the anguish and the pain, the best thing we can do is talk about the pain and the anguish. And guess what, my friends? It doesn't make it any better. It just makes us feel worse. And it causes more anger towards that person. And you bring the situation more to light. It doesn't help. But what we could do is take ourselves out of that moment. And that's what I needed to do. I recognize this situation is bigger than me. It's larger than me. In order for me to grow, I needed to tap into something bigger and greater. My desire in that moment, my friends, and this is what this episode is all about, is to find that inner peace, is to pour love on the other person, is to only find the love in the situation, not to focus on the hate, not to focus on the negativity. And the powerful streaming of love from your space into someone else's space, we can move mountains, we can move boulders, we can change situations and make them beautiful and have them resolve in a way that works for us. Again, I want to be clear. I never want someone to be hurt. I don't want them to get illness. I just needed the based-in case to be dropped. And eventually it did. I continue to send this person love. I continue to send this person peace. I continue to send this person healing because that's all I have in my body to give. And if another feeling of frustration or worry, pain, hurt seeps up in my mind, I know that I have the power to go to a place to release it. Not only in this situation, my friends, but many situations that I've experienced. Now, if this is a space that you've never been in and you want to experience it, let me know. Comment on this episode. Find me on Instagram at its.devoergoldberg. Find me on Facebook. Let me know that you too want to find your inner peace. Let me know that you want to go to this place of inner quiet, finding your love, expressing your love, and I will guide you. This is what I do with clients all of the time, and it's incredible where people resolve things in their lives, how they get past things because they've come to a place of peace. And essentially the issue ceases to exist. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that inner desire to thrive, to live in happiness, to live in peace, and to express peace, express positivity. It's within each and every one of us. What a great episode. Thank you for being here. I truly, truly appreciate you. I'd love for you to tap 5 stars and let me know what resonated. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn under my name, Devoer Goldberg. That's where I give you more content. That's where we're able to engage even further. Until next episode, stay safe and be well.